Welcome home, brave heroes. I'm Ash, this is Ash Quest, and it's time to delve into another facet of Ash Quest that we haven't really gotten into before, namely, a part of the channel wherein the community can help me on my quest. Brave heroes, this is not a roleplay game. This is not a tabletop dungeon crawler. This is Sentence Cube game. A game developed and published in 1971 by Sal Chow and Writer Company, part of the Scrabble brand. SNR Games. This was obtained from my local thrift store for, I think, $1, $2, something of that nature. And I actually picked up 2 copies because I thought it might be really useful to have the components in this box. However, since getting this, I haven't really been able to figure out a good way to utilize the components. The Sentence Cube game is a game, of course, by itself. It is a standalone game. It doesn't have to be played with Scrabble, if you've ever played Scrabble, but it does play a little bit like Scrabble. It does come with a timer, which I believe is a 1-minute timer. I'll have to double check the materials list. It comes with a stack of Sentence Cube game play sheets that keep track of the players of the game, as well as their scores throughout each round and the total scores to tally up at the end of the game. It comes with this dice rolling cup, which is useful because the game is played almost entirely with these dice. These wooden beveled dice that have words on them from which you will construct various sentences. All of the words on the different die faces are different, so when you roll, you are really coming up with a random selection of words that you have to use your creativity to piece together to form grammatically correct, coherent sentences. And you will then score points based on the length of those sentences. Underneath this cardboard standard, I have the rest of the game contents. Actually, this is the rest of the second game contents. It looks like that game did not come with another dice roller, so I didn't have that included. But we do have our catalog, which I always love seeing game catalogs from the time. So just to sort of continue looking at the contents of this as though it is a proper game unboxing and overview. We've got some pretty cool stuff. The Scrabble brand Sensor electronic word game. Electronics from the 70s. Can it get cooler than that? I don't know. I don't know that it can. Here we go. Right here. The Royal Game of Sumer. This game is, I believe, the oldest game in the world. Yes, the oldest board game in the world from 2500 BC. Reproduced from the game found in the ruins of the ancient city of Ur. This was completely figured out by, I believe, professors at the time. And you can see a video on YouTube of 2 people playing the game of Ur. And it actually looks surprisingly fun. It is surprisingly more complex than the board would have you believe. Go for Broke, Gingerbread Man, Babes in Toyland, The 3 Little Pigs. A time when games were little more than just spaces on a board with no decoration and a couple of point values here and there, and maybe some fun colors or shapes. Really not a time that I look back on and think I'd be very fond of. But then again, I'm a bit biased. So I have my dice roller full of cubes, and when I roll them, I immediately have a selection of words. And I think the rules are you do have to roll everything. You have to absolutely get all 21 word cubes rolled and piece them together into sentences. And how the game is played beyond that, I would need to refer to the web for the specific instructions. But just to show you how I would play with the 21 dice that I've rolled this time. Oh, we have some questionable ones for sure. We can immediately go bad with the results. That's crazy. We have smell, we have dirty, we have girl, hand. Okay, so we have your, Your. No, none of this is going to be good. I demand a reroll. Your. Ooh, and I'm not quite sure if words that are single can also count as plural. So like this says hand, but I wonder if I could make it say hands, because we do have cubes that have is versus are. So we are referring to plural versus singular. Or is this a question word? It is. It is a question word, such as, are we going? Are we there yet? Because the rest of the words on here are words that would begin questions. We've had, can, may, is. Back to are. So the thing I'm needing help with here, how can I use this for Hero Quest? Does it Hero Quest? I'm not sure. I would like to think anything can if you have the right imagination, but I think this is more facilitative of a role play. And as a role play tool, it makes sense, right? Because you can construct sentences as if you are of a race that can't communicate unless you are perhaps constructing sentences in this way. I hate this. There we go. Perfect. I hate this one. It's hard. No good. There we go. There we go. I'm starting to get it, guys. I think I understand the appeal. Let's see. Let it fly. Not sure if that makes sense, but in context, I'm going to take it and throw it into the yard. Where a wife? A question that many of us who have purchased this game have asked. All right, so that's one of the two games actually that I wanted to show you today. This is just one, and the games are probably remarkably similar because Scrabble didn't stop there for some reason. Scrabble went on to produce Scrabble QuipCubes, the cross-sentence board game. So this is the same rule set, expanded to fit on a Scrabble board. And my copy is secondhand. It has questionable stains on it. It has a residue where a sticker once was. This stuff doesn't really bother me. It's stuff that I might try to very mildly clean. I'm not going to get too obsessed with it. It's not really hanging out with my Warhammer quest, you know? This is 10 years later, 1981, Selchout Writer, Bayshore, New York. I'm surprised that it took them 10 years to come back with one. I wonder if the original really was a success, such that they felt it needed to be revisited, or if it was more the case of, hey, that failed, but people are catching on to what we do now. Maybe we need to bring it back and see if it will not fail. So with this one, we have our two cups. These are different colors. We have a red and a purple this time, contrasting with the orange of our original cube game from 10 years prior. And under the cardboard, we have our dice cubes. We actually have two different colors, and this time we've got different words on them than we did with the 1971 sentence cube game. Although we have red and blue words on these plain wooden cubes, they are actually the exact same set of words. So two people can roll from their tumblers and get the exact same results. So it all ends up being quite fair. You could still roll these and get different results due to the nature of different words on different faces, but there's just two identical sets of dice. This is all. We've got the exact same scorecard, this time with the QuipCubes branding. This one was nice enough to be included with a marker. And then the board itself, which is hugged by the box, so we've got to work a little bit to get that out. For its age, it looks appropriate. It has that 1981 board game smell, that's for sure. QuipCubes by Scrabble. This is a very I mean, very sturdy board. I feel like I could use this board as a weapon. It is almost suitable for building houses with. This board is strong. The paper on here, the adhesive paper, it's another story. It's kind of wrinkled over time. You can kind of see it's aged. We've got a crease here in the center that's very clear. The sizes of the squares are very small. They're not going to be compatible with any game. I shouldn't say any game, but they certainly won't be compatible with any tabletop dungeon crawler. I suppose if you really wanted to go extreme, you could say, Ash, you can play Hero Quest on this board. You can just have the heroes enter from the side, and as long as they're big enough to stay in the squares, these squares are the tiles, and it's just one room, and you can apply line of sight, and all of these are columns. Perhaps the numbers can be what the hero needs to roll on 2 6-sided dice in order to be able to pass through them or see over them or destroy them. There's all kinds of ridiculousness we could come up with, but rather than that, I just wanted to go over, I think the first sentence has to start somewhere around the star, and it can be as long of a sentence as you want, your first sentence, and then the other player begins, and then just like classic Scrabble, they can use any of the words that you have used and just go along a perpendicular line. If you land on any of these cubes that have the scores on them, you'll score for those, and it just continues on that way with each player using the remaining words of the dice that they have rolled. So let's say I want to roll all of these, and then I don't have a lot of time. This one didn't actually come with a timer, so I think it's take all the time you want. But you could put like, let us laugh, okay? And that's all the time I wanted to put into that. And then the second player, let's say that they have these dice. Let us... Oh, here we go. I'm a real smart aleck. I made a really long sentence there. Let in this next lost lady. I mean, it needs context, but it works. It's a proper sentence. However, in making this long sentence, I have given the first player a chance to make more words. So, got to be careful with that. This case is very clean. There you go. That'll do that. And just because we couldn't keep from it, we had to do it. I want your lady bad. There we go. Don't blame me. It's gonna score points. Look at this. I get the 10-point bonus right there on the cubes. It is what it is. I'm just trying to win the game, man. By wanting your lady bad. Okay. So anyway, that's QuipCubes. That's the Sentence Cube game. 2 games that I don't think can Hero Quest, but I really wanted to unbox these on camera as soon as I saw them. I wanted to add them to my camera repertoire. I have so many games to unbox, and I don't know why these took up any sort of real estate in my mind. I don't know why I'm giving them any priority at all, but I wanted to see where this would go. Heroes, what do you think I could do with these games to incorporate them into my tabletop fantasies, besides wanting your lady? Please let me know in the comments below. Thank you very much for this very experimental video watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, please have a fantastic rest of your day, and bye for now.